A janitor who never earned more than $40,000 a year died with $8 million, while Harvard MBAs go broke every day. The Psychology of Money reveals 7 wealth secrets that have nothing to do with how much you make. And if you don't understand these, you'll stay poor no matter how smart you are. This isn't some made-up story. Ronald Read was a real person who worked as a gas station attendant for 25 years and swept floors at JCPenney for 17 years. He lived in a modest 2-bedroom house, chopped his own firewood, and drove old cars until they died. When he passed away in 2014, nobody expected what happened next. He left $2 million to his stepkids and over $6 million to his local hospital and library. Those who knew him were completely baffled. There was no lottery win, no inheritance, no secret business. He just understood something about money that most people never learn. The Psychology of Money, written by Morgan Housel, is honestly one of my favorite finance books of all time. It's sold over 4 million copies and been translated into 50+ languages because it reveals the psychological truths about wealth that no finance textbook teaches. After studying the behavior of thousands of investors, from billionaires to broke day traders, Housel discovered that building wealth has almost nothing to do with your intelligence, education, or even your income. It's about understanding human psychology and avoiding the mental traps that keep most people poor. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 most powerful wealth secrets from this book. And more importantly, I'm going to teach you exactly how to implement each one so you can start building real wealth. These aren't your typical save 10% and invest in index funds tips. These are the psychological principles that separate people who build real, lasting wealth from those who stay stuck in the financial hamster wheel their entire lives. I've put timestamps below if you want to jump to any specific secret, but trust me, you'll want to watch all 7 because they build on each other. Now let's dive into the 7 secrets, and I've organized them into 3 chapters to make this easier to digest. The first chapter is all about mindset secrets, the psychological foundation of wealth. Because here's the thing, before you can build wealth, you need to completely rewire how you think about money. Wealth is what you don't see. It's not the Ferrari in the driveway or the Rolex on someone's wrist. Real wealth is the money that was never spent. When you see someone driving a $200,000 Ferrari, the only thing you know for certain is that they have $200,000 less than they did before they bought the car, or they're $200,000 deeper in debt. That's it. The car doesn't tell you anything about their actual wealth. Meanwhile, the real millionaire next door might be driving a 10-year-old Toyota Camry because they understand that every dollar spent on depreciating assets is a dollar that can't compound and grow. Here's a challenge. Next time you're at a red light, look around at the cars. That person in the BMW, they might be broke. That person in the old Honda, they might be sitting on millions. You literally can't tell. So here's how you apply this. Next time you feel that urge to buy something to look successful, ask yourself, do I want to look rich or actually be rich? Start celebrating the money you don't spend. That $1,000 you didn't blow on a new phone. That's real wealth building actual financial power. Your behavior beats your knowledge every single time when it comes to building wealth. Remember Ronald Read, the janitor from our intro? He bought blue chip stocks and never sold them. That's it. That was his entire investment strategy. Meanwhile, Richard Fusconi, a Harvard MBA and former Merrill Lynch executive, went completely bankrupt in his late 60s and lost everything through overborrowing and bad financial decisions. Your brain is wired for short-term survival, not long-term wealth building. You can understand compound interest perfectly, but when you see something shiny you want right now, your emotional brain overrides your logical brain. Knowledge sits in your prefrontal cortex, but behavior comes from your limbic system, and guess which one usually wins? So here's how you apply this. Stop trying to become the world's smartest investor and start becoming the world's most disciplined one. Set up automatic transfers to your investment accounts so the money disappears before you can touch it. Build systems that make good behavior automatic because your behavior in the tough moments matters infinitely more than your IQ. Now this next part completely changed how I think about money. Ready for this? The highest dividend money pays isn't luxury, it's control over your time. Psychologist Angus Campbell studied what makes people happy. After decades of research, he found that the most powerful common denominator of happiness wasn't money, fame, or material goods. It was having control over your life. The ability to do what you want, when you want, with who you want, for as long as you want. But most people mess this up completely. They upgrade their lifestyle every time their income goes up. I mean, we all know someone like this, right? Then they wake up at 50, making 3 times what they made at 30, but feeling more trapped than ever because they're now slaves to their expenses. Here's how you apply this. Before you increase any expense, ask yourself, is this purchase buying me more control or less? That bigger house means a bigger mortgage, which means less flexibility. Instead, use money to buy back your time. Build an emergency fund that lets you sleep peacefully. The goal isn't to be rich, it's to be free. Quick question. Which of these first 3 secrets hit you the hardest? Drop it in the comments. I'm genuinely curious which one changes your perspective most. Now that we've rewired your mindset about wealth, let's talk strategy. These next 3 secrets are the actual mechanics of building wealth. And fair warning, they're going to sound boring. That's exactly why they work. Your savings rate is more important than your investment returns. How much you save matters more than how smart you are at investing. Warren Buffett has been investing since he was 10 years old. 97% of his wealth came after his 65th birthday. If Buffett had started investing at 30 like most people, and retired at 60 like most people, he'd be worth about $12 million today. Still rich, but not $84 billion rich. The difference wasn't his returns, it was his savings rate, and the time those savings had to compound. The average American saves only 3.5% of their income. 3.5%? They'd rather spend hours researching stocks trying to beat the market by 2% than simply save an extra 10% of their income. But the math doesn't lie. Someone who saves 20% and gets average returns will destroy someone who saves 5% and beats the market. Do this right now. Grab your phone, check your bank statement, and calculate what percentage you saved last month. I'll wait. Shocking, right? Look, I know some of you are thinking this is too basic. Where's the secret formula? But here's the truth bomb. There isn't one. The gap between rich and poor isn't about secret knowledge. It's about doing simple things that most people refuse to do. Time in the market beats timing the market, every single time. If you invested $1 in the US stock market in 1871 and left it alone, by 2018, it would be worth nearly $15,000. But if you missed just the best 5 days each year during that entire period, your dollar would be worth less than a penny. Missing a handful of days over a century and a half turns $15,000 into pocket change. Most people destroy their wealth trying to be clever. They think investing is about making brilliant moves, when it's actually about making no moves. The average investor underperforms the market by 4 to 5% annually, not because they pick bad investments, but because they can't sit still. So here's how you apply this. Pick a simple strategy and become pathologically committed to it. Set up your investments and delete the apps. When the market crashes, do nothing. When everyone's panicking, do nothing. Your job isn't to be smart, it's to be persistent. But wait, there's one rule that if you break it, none of this matters. This is huge. Never interrupt compounding unnecessarily. It's the first rule of wealth building, yet almost everyone breaks it. Grace Groner worked as a secretary her entire life. In 1935, she bought 3 shares of Abbott Laboratories stock for $60 each. She never sold, never traded, never got clever. When she died in 2010, those 3 shares had turned into $7 million. Most people constantly interrupt their compounding. They sell stocks to buy a new car. They cash out retirement accounts when switching jobs. They panic sell during crashes. Every interruption resets the compound clock back to 0. Okay, stay with me here, because this is crucial. It's like planting a tree, then digging it up every year to check if it's growing. Here's how you apply this. Treat your investments like a bar of soap. The more you touch them, the smaller they get. Create separate accounts for spending and investing. When you're tempted to cash out for any reason, calculate what that money would be worth in 20 years. That $50,000 for a kitchen renovation, that's $400,000 in retirement. All right, we've covered mindset and strategy. But here's the brutal truth. Getting rich and staying rich are 2 completely different games. The The secret to staying wealthy is having room for error in everything you do. It's not about avoiding risk, it's about surviving risk when it inevitably shows up. Good engineers don't build bridges to hold exactly what they need. If a bridge needs to hold 10 tons, they build it to hold 30 tons. Your finances should work the same way. The difference between a good financial plan and a reckless one is how much room for error you build in. Studies show 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck with zero buffer. Then life happens. A job loss, a medical emergency, a market crash, and suddenly they're forced to sell investments at the worst time. One setback becomes a catastrophe because they had no buffer. Ask yourself honestly, if you lost your job tomorrow, how many months could you survive? If the answer makes you uncomfortable, you know what to fix. So here's how you apply this. Whatever cash cushion you think you need, double it. Keep enough in safe liquid assets that you could survive a 50% market crash without changing your lifestyle. So there you have it, the 7 wealth secrets from the psychology of money that most people completely ignore. Let me break this down for you real quick. Wealth is what you don't see, not the Ferrari or the Rolex. Your behavior beats your knowledge every single time. Happiness doesn't come from stuff. It comes from control over your time. Your savings rate absolutely destroys investment returns. Time is literally your superpower when it comes to money. Never interrupt compounding. And finally, room for error is everything. The gap between knowing this stuff and actually doing it is where millionaires are made. Ronald Reagan did these 7 things and left millions to charity. Brilliant people who thought they were too smart for simple rules ended up broke. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one thing, just one of these secrets that hit different for you, and take action today. Not tomorrow, not next week, today. Set up that automatic transfer. Delete those trading apps. Start that emergency fund. Whatever it is, just start. And if you're thinking, okay, but I need money first before I can save and invest, I've got you covered. Check out this video right here, where I show you 6 side hustles that actually work for students in 2025. Remember, building wealth starts with making money, but it's what you do with that money that determines if you'll be rich or broke. All right, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.